Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Kent Tilley, and I just wanted to do a short video because it was based on a comment on the last video that I just put out, which is basically how much is your CPP worth? And I just wanted to sort of frame it in a different manner so people could think about it a little bit differently. I still think that you should have a full financial plan done before choosing to take CPP and OAS. I think you should review that plan every year because things can change. So we might say in the beginning, yeah, you should take it at 70, but things could change when you're 63, and maybe now that pulls it down and you should take it at 64 for whatever reason. Something changed. But in this case, I just wanted to talk quickly about an idea or a question that Tana had. So sorry if I didn't say that correctly, and I don't know if you can read this, but I'll read it out for you. It says, I wonder if it makes a difference for a person who will live to age 85. He starts collecting CPP at 60, but instead of spending the money at 60, he invests it with an annual return of 5%. Then at age 70, he starts spending the CPP money he had collected since 60. Will he be better off than delaying and starts collecting his CPP at age 70? So this is an interesting question where you have, okay, well, you know that you're getting quite a bit less when you take it early. You are getting, a 36% reduction by taking it at 60 instead of 65, and then a 42% increase if you delay all the way to 70. So I assumed that this wasn't going to work. But I had to ask a question, which was, what type of account is this money going to be invested in? Because if it's in a TFSA, then it's not taxable whatsoever. If it's in RSP, maybe you're going to get a refund. If you're still working, there's a whole bunch of factors going in. I hoped he didn't say RSP because that would be the one where I'd have to make like the weirdest assumptions. So he responded and just said, a regular non-registered investment account. Okay, so you remember in the example, if you've watched the video, I started with somebody that was going to get CPP of $1,000 at 65 years old. So if they took it at 60, they were going to get $640 a month. Now they're going to take that $640 and they're going to invest it in a non-registered account every month until the age of 70. That $640 is going to increase with inflation for the next 10 years. But for right now, I'm going to keep that number at $640. It's not going to be indexed with inflation. Then when we get to 70, I'm going to start working in inflation factored numbers. I'm just going to go straight across the board and say we're using today's numbers. Now, with a non-registered account, I don't know how it's going to be invested, how much your other income is, all of these other things. What is that 5% going to be taxed at? Because you're going to owe some tax on the growth, depending how it comes, in which form, dividends, capital gains, interest, depending on how you do that, plus your tax brackets or income at the time is going to dictate how much you actually get after tax based on that 5% rate of return. So I did a video on it a long time ago where I sort of made the assumption that you're probably going to lose about 20% of your returns to taxes. So that's what I'm going to use here. That means his after-tax return is going to be 4%. Invest that $640 a month at 4% for 10 years. At the end of 10 years, he's got $75,392 in a non-registered account. Now, he has CPP paying in today's dollars of $640, because I just used the $75,392 in today's dollars too. It would be bigger because he'd be investing more every month based on the enhanced CPP payments that he was getting due to inflation. So he's got $640 a month coming in, and he's going to deplete that 75,000 over the remaining 15 years. And now we've also still got to pay that tax, but that has to be indexed to inflation. And in the case of this video, I used an inflation rate of 2.5%. So his real rate of return on this investment is going to be roughly 1.5%. And so if you're getting a real rate of return of 1.5% on $75,000, you can, pay yourself for 15 years about $420 a month out of that. So now he's got a payment from 70 to 85 of $1,059. So, or 60, I guess, because I rounded it up to 420. So in this case, it doesn't work, because he was going to get $1,420 from the CPP from 70 and beyond. If he gets higher, then, you basically have to beat what the CPP is growing at, which is, what is it, 8.4% a year or whatever, so, and then, 7.2 or whatever it is from 60 to 65. So you just have to say, well, okay, that's the easy math. That's what you have to get beyond that in order to make that work. If you believe you can get 10% rates of return, then it would work out better in your benefit. But, way too many other factors to come into this, so I don't really love getting into it and saying this is a one-size-fits-all thing, because it certainly isn't. So in some cases, you might want to do that for whatever reason. But generally speaking, if you're going to live well into your 80s, delaying is going to work. If you need the money now, you want to take it now because you need it. Where else are you going to get money? Sometimes you can delay CPP and get GIS for 5 or 6 years if that's going to work into your plan, if you have sort of low income or your assets are, really, really organized. But I don't think it's worth it if you're that rich to organize your assets to try and get GIS. It's just kind of a way to trick the system. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work out best for you. So as I said before, if you want to decide, this is kind of one of the main reasons why we do the $500 financial plan. Let's run through your scenarios. Let's talk about the other options you want to consider. I don't care, if that's what you want to do and you really, want to go that way, that's totally fine. It's just my job to try and help you make a more informed decision, and that's it. And I can't say for certain which way is right for you unless we actually saw the numbers and had a real, frank conversation about the details. So reach out if you'd like. Website's almost done, maybe 1 or 2 weeks, but for right now, you can just email us at info@k4financial.ca and we'll reach out and set something up. Thanks again, and please like and subscribe. Chat soon.